Alright, it started now. I muted you. Alright guys, welcome to the official live stream of the US primaries. Baxstar, I've unmuted you. Alright, so welcome to the live stream guys. Today we are going to be covering the elections in the United States. There are several elections going on tonight. There are elections going on in Indiana. The votes in Indiana are now being counted, so we can see the results now. Mike Braun is now in the lead with 42.6% of the vote, 8,760 votes to be exact. And then Luke Messer is in second place, along with Todd Rokita being closely behind him. This is going to be a closely watched election. The elections that I am going to be watching tonight are definitely going to be in West Virginia, in which the controversial Don Blankenship is going to try and win the Republican Senate primary. He has been under controversy in recent days, along with his China people comments, which was very stupid of him. And then, obviously, there are 4 elections going on tonight. We have elections in Ohio, West Virginia, Indiana, and North Carolina. However, Indiana is the only election that has officially closed their polls, and votes are now being counted. Now, with that, Baxstar, what can you talk about what's going on for tonight?
In North Carolina, we have several primary elections. The election I'm looking is the 5th District, U.S. House and 5th District. I hope incumbent Virginia Fox is November. But we have two fairly popular Democrats, Dee Dee Adams, who's on the city council in the city of Salem. You have Jenny Marshall, who's a part of the Justice Democrats. You know, all those good folks up there with the Young Turks and all them. And then the House District 13 with Representative Ted Budd. Apparently, there's been some lackluster fundraising, and the race is competitive now. So that's another race we should be looking at tonight.
All right, so with that weird, so the district that you were actually wanting to cover is House District 5 in North Carolina, correct?
Yep.
All right, so with House District 5, as Baxstar did say, elections are going on in his state tonight. So with that, Dee Dee Adams and Jenny Marshall are competing for the Democratic seat, and Virginia Fox, who is the incumbent of U.S. House or North Carolina 5, Virginia Fox is the incumbent of that, but she is going to be facing off against Dylan Gentry and Cortland Meter tonight. First results are expected around 7:35 Eastern Time, which is going to be around 6:35, so that's in about an hour in my time. So, Indiana, let's go ahead and check to see what's going on in Indiana. Mike Braun is definitely in the lead. He is leading by at least 5,000 votes. About 4,000 from what it looks like. So this is for the U.S. Senate seat. Joe Donnelly, who's the incumbent of the Senate in Indiana, is uncontested. He is not going to be facing off against anyone tonight. However, Mike Braun is going to be facing off against him if he wins this election tonight. With that, there are several elections also going on for the U.S. House. In that, these are not the official general election, by the way. This is actually just primaries. So this is for U.S. House District 2 in Indiana. Mel Hall is in the lead, 43% to Pat Hackett's 27%. All right, and then Jackie Walorski is in the lead by a massive margin in the Republican primary, 76.5% to 23.5%. And then we have a lot of other elections that are also going on. Plus, there are, looks like a lot of people are actually being uncontested in the state House and Senate. So with that, the only election results we are getting in tonight is from Indiana, when we should be getting West Virginia results around 7:30 Eastern Time. Or polls close actually at 7:30 Eastern Time, and then first results are expected around 7:50. So West Virginia is going to be a very contested election tonight because of the controversy that Don Blankenship has actually initiated, in which he says that he is Trumpier than Trump, and believes that Mitch McConnell receives a lot of money from supposed China people. This comment has actually engaged in a lot of controversy because of that comment that he did make about China people, in which he said it.
I think that pretty much by 10 o'clock, you should be able to call that Senate primary. Because, look, you know, if you look at Alabama, what happened down there, people were saying, oh, well, we're going to have to wait till the next morning. And it turns out they called the...
That was a general election, though, in Alabama. This is just a primary election.
I mean, elections is elections. I mean, yes, it's general primary, but you should be able... You pretty much can call this particular race by 10 o'clock.
Possibly.
I mean, this is... I mean, it's rather. I don't think Blankenship is going to win, but if he does, he does. He go on against Joe Manchin, who is the current incumbent, and that's one of the Senate races that I think is going to flip this year.
You believe which one is going to flip?
I think West Virginia is going to flip.
Why do you say that West Virginia would flip?
Well, for one, look at the state. I mean, the state is heavily.
Are you saying that it's going to flip into Democrats or the Republicans?
It's gonna flip to the Republicans.
Oh, okay. I was.
It's gonna flip to the Republicans.
Yeah, the Democrats have Joe Manchin, who is the incumbent of the West Virginia Senate seat. There's a lot of election or House elections that are actually going on tonight. Actually, there's only 3 House elections. Houses West Virginia 1, 2, and 3 are actually up for grabs tonight, with the Republican and Democratic primaries happening at the same time. House District 2, West Virginia 1 and West Virginia 2 are actually uncontested in Republican primaries. However, the Democrats are actually going to be fighting over who's going to be representing House District 2 in a general election. So, let's go ahead and see what's going on in Indiana. We still have results coming in. 15,000 have voted for Mike Braun, 42.9%, just about 43% of Indiana has voted for Mike Braun. And then Todd Rokita has 31.9% of the vote, with 11,167 people having voted for him. And then there's a third Republican, actually, Luke Messer, 8,838 votes, 25.2% of the vote tonight.
Now in Indiana, you pretty much whoever carries Marion County, which is the state capital of Indiana, pretty much win the primary. Lake County, these heavily populated cities, whoever can win these in the counties will pretty much win this primary.
Yeah, usually it's always the cities that I always go for. And Fort Wayne has actually voted for, well, actually, it's a very close race in Fort Wayne, Allen County. Todd Rokita actually has 1,324 people voting for him, while Mike Braun actually has 1,306 people voting for him. So it's a very close race, separated by less than 20 people in Allen County.
Now here's something interesting.
Hamilton County and Boone County have actually gone for Mike Braun. Similar percentage votes, 42.6% in Boone County and 42.9% in Hamilton County. This is just north of Marion County, which houses the Indianapolis, the city of Indianapolis, which is the capital of Indiana. So,
if you go down to U.S. House District of Indiana, Greg Pence, I believe, is the older brother of the current vice president, is currently running for Vice President Pence's House seat. So that's pretty much
yeah, that actually is him. So Greg Pence in Indiana 6 is actually possibly going to be elected tonight to represent the Republicans in Indiana 6. This is actually the older brother of Vice President Mike Pence. He is winning by 68.3% of the vote tonight. So I actually didn't know that. I've been keeping track about these, but I haven't seen anything such as that. That is actually very interesting. Okay, so no elections have actually been called as of yet. Indiana 2, we got Mel Hall, 43.1% of the vote, and then Jackie Walorski with 76.5% of the vote. He is actually the incumbent of Indiana 2, so he is actually expected to carry on and continue to represent the Republican Party in this district for this election cycle.
I mean, you're pretty much not going to be able to call anything Indiana.
You're probably not going to be able to call anything for at least another 30 minutes.
At least an hour or so for the Senate race. But these House races, I mean, you can pretty much call them within the next 40, 45 minutes.
Yeah, possibly. So there is a lot going on, which honestly we probably should have just waited a little while to try and get these West Virginia and Ohio results in, because those are the races that we really wanted to concentrate on, especially North Carolina. And first results are expected shortly after the polls at 7:30, so we have about an hour, I guess, until we start seeing results from North Carolina. We could take a short break in order to do this. This was actually just a warm-up to really just get the attention for what's going on tonight. Indiana. We have a lot of results coming in from Indiana. Mike Braun is expected to represent the Republicans. However, I saw similar numbers such as this during the Texas primaries several months ago, in which the Democratic candidate was actually floating above 50%. This was Lupe Valdez, and Lupe Valdez was leading by 55%, and then her lead just started to shrink. And then so now she has to run against her Democratic opponent in later this month, actually, to try and compete for another election round to try and take the Democratic representation for the nomination for the Democratic governorship in the state of Texas. So with that, I think we could just take a small break. I will actually stop the live stream, and then in about 30 minutes to an hour, we will return back to this live stream, and then we will talk to you guys soon about what is going on in the United States. So with that, guys, if you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like, and then be back in 1 hour, in which we will start covering the elections that are going on in the rest of these areas, which West Virginia and Ohio and North Carolina, those areas are going to close their polls within the hour. So we are going to return back shortly once we start getting those results in, and then we are going to be back so we can start covering those election results as soon as they start coming in. So guys, like this video and be back in 1 hour, in which we will start covering the election results coming in from North Carolina, Ohio, and West Virginia, where we're definitely going to be watching over the results for Don Blankenship for the Senate in West Virginia. So I will see you guys there, and take care.